That's a good idea.
Well, and if we give them enough time, you know, if we say, you know, in 2 weeks we're going to do it, if we give them enough time, maybe they'll have a chance to plan for it at least.
Yeah. Well, and it would mainly be for the like the Mavens to invite their potentials too. But we can talk about that in a little bit. This is we just started our open Q&A, so this is going to be a very general call. People ask anything, and you know, I'm just going to answer any questions. So whoever wants to go first, shoot. What's happening with your business, and how can we help?
So I'm going to jump in because I've heard so many no's recently that it's a little discouraging, and I feel like I'm kind of spinning my wheels a little bit. So I need a little bit of, like, I don't know, motivation or kind of a new tactic, because I've seen all the words to say that have been shared all over the different Facebook groups. And, you know, I get so much out of the girls in the Maven group, but when you're constantly hearing, no, not right now, I'm too busy, not a good time, I'm not interested, it's a little disheartening. So
first, tell me what you're saying and how you're reaching out and all that good stuff.
Well, I mean, obviously it depends on the person, the relationship, but I've got, you know, various friends who are local to me in my town, and then friends who are, you know, all over the place. And so I reach out with an opportunity to do a Facebook event. I did probably 10 or 12 last night. And I think I took the words from what Danielle posted yesterday and said, you know, with it being the month of love, I want to share $1,000 in Stella love. Why don't we get your girlfriends together and do a Galentine's party on Facebook this weekend? You make it super easy, and you get all kinds of style goodies, something like that.
That's great.
And I've heard nothing back from all the people I reached out, and I know they saw the messages. Like you can see on Facebook, you know, they saw the messages.
How many did you reach out to with that particular message?
Say again?
How many did you reach out to with that particular message?
That was like between 10 and 12 last night. I don't have it in front of me. So let's say 10.
Okay, so let's say 10. So with 10, you can expect probably potentially one yes out of there. So it's one thing to keep in mind when you're running the numbers and when you're booking trunk shows, it's so easy to stop before you get to your yes. And while it's 1 in 10 say yes in like throughout the year, it might be a little bit, you might need double that for like a month like February. So always know, first of all, it's a numbers game. This business, all business really is a numbers game. And so you kind of have to get a little bit of a thick skin and let the no's and the non-responses roll off your back. Second thing to keep in mind is usually the second, third, or fourth touch is when people end up saying yes. So people who have every intention of saying yes might have checked your message while they were at a stoplight, or they might have checked it right before their kid comes storming in the room, or they might have checked it right when they were running out the door and they're like, oh, that sounds fun, and then back to real life. So this follow-up text will go far, but just know that with 10 you said you reached out to, like 1 at the most is you can expect to say yes to that. So just keep those numbers in mind so you kind of don't take it so personally. But I loved your words to say. So think sometimes when you get a lot of no's, let's say you're running true numbers and you talk to 40 people and nobody's responding at all, it could be potentially how you're saying it. Are you coming from a place of fun and easy and light and, you know, like you said, a theme? I love that. Your words were perfect. So it's just talking to more people.
Well, and also, Liz, are they saying no, or are they giving you an objection?
Yeah, that's different.
Well, the ones last night just haven't responded. So that's just the most recent reach outs that I've done were those 10 last night. I was just like, I think I was going through catching up on the posts that had happened on Facebook during the day, because I don't have a chance to read everything during the day necessarily. And I went back and saw what Danielle had posted, and I loved the words to say. So copied them, tweaked them, made them my own, and then sent out my 10 last night. I think it took me 15 minutes to just send those little Facebook messages out, because there are people who live away from me. So I knew an online show was the best option. And I have not heard anything back. So that's the most recent. My other ones that I've heard no from, so I had a pop-up on Saturday night at a bar class, and great energy. Everybody was having such a great time. And as they were checking out and I was going through things with them, I said, oh, let's get the girls together and do, you know, something in a couple weeks, and you can get the rest of these items, because a lot of them had more than they wanted to actually spend money on. And I said, well, let's get your girlfriends together and do something in a couple of weeks. And, you know, how is, I don't know, whatever the dates I gave them, March 1st. And they're like, oh, no, I don't think so. And I was like, oh, well, you know, let me follow up when you get your items and check your calendar. And because when I see that their items have shipped, I say, I'll follow up with you when I see your items have shipped, and just make sure everything has arrived okay. Why don't you check your calendar and I'll follow up with you in a week. So I'm not to that week yet, but that's my next step. So those people who have said no, my response to that on Saturday night was, well, I'll follow up with you in a week when you get your items and let's check your calendar. That's kind of where I am.
Okay. So a lot of things. I want to make sure I cover all the things. Okay. So first, going back really quickly to the 10 last night. Congratulations, by the way, for doing 10 in a night. That's freaking fantastic. That's a great place to start. And a no response is not a no. In fact, it's the exact opposite. So do not write them off your list. My mom texted me last night, and I haven't texted her back yet. My mother gives life to me, and I love her dearly. And it does not mean I don't want to talk to her today. I just literally haven't had a chance. So that's me. I have no kids. I work from home. Like, my life is not stressful. So imagine these people you're reaching out to. Like Kelly said, life is happening. A no response is just, I can't talk right now. So a follow-up, like every time I do a text, whether it's to anyone, any walk of life, the day or two later, depending on what time. So if I text them like at noon, maybe I'll text them that next night because like time during the day didn't work out, or vice versa. Just like, hey, didn't want you to miss out. Did you just get a chance to read my message? Like, really easy, super quick. You don't need a book and a half. Checking in to see if you read my message. Didn't want you to miss out. Let me know what you think. Or if you had already started a conversation and then you're like mid-convo and they just ghosted you, you can be like, hey girl, did you get a chance to look at your calendar? Did the 12th or 13th work for you? Let me know. So you're giving them a really quick review of what you were talking about without being word vomit again, you know? So that's for the no responses. Okay. For the girls who said no about, you know, whatever reason, let me guess, they were way too busy. Their house is too big. Their house is too small. Their house is too messy. They don't have any friends. Their friends don't want to spend money. They don't want to spend money. The stuff is too expensive. What else? I have no friends. What am I missing? My dog is sick. That I got that once. Well, your dog doesn't have to join the party. So literally, you will hear every excuse in the book. All that is them just giving you their biggest fear up front. They don't want to let you down. They don't want to be a failure, right? So in their mind, whatever a trunk show looks like to them, they're projecting their insecurities right away onto that question. So, hey, do you want to get the girls together? We'll have a little fun Valentine's Day. Right away in their head, oh, no, my girls don't like this kind of thing. They don't like drinking wine and hang out with us. But you know what I mean? Like, they automatically put their fear into it. So use every single no as a conversation starter, unless it's a literal no thank you, I'm not interested, which you'll get. And then you say, thank you so much. If you know of anyone who would be, send them my way. I'll send you some sparkle as a thank you. But if you have someone who is a soft no, which is they're just giving you an objection, then you can say, well, tell me a little bit more. You know, what are you thinking this is going to look like? Because in my mind, I'm going to take about 2 hours of your Friday night, and I'm going to bring a bottle of bubbly over. You're going to have your girls. You're going to invite them with these cute little images I'm going to make you. And you, at the end of the night, get a shopping spree. So I know you were looking at that getaway bag. You could get that and the necklace, whatever necklace, for free at the end of the night. So, you know, would you want to look at the calendar for about a 2-hour time slot, maybe in the next 2 weeks that you have open? So you're asking them for more information, because it's not just always going to be a no or a yes. And then you're having, like, they're human people. So you want to have a conversation with them. You know, it's not just like, book a show. Okay, thank you. Okay, what date? Okay, thank you. I'll see you then. I did when I started. It was quite interesting to look back at some of my messages that I sent out. But anyway, that was me talking a lot. So what questions do you have?
No, that's helpful. Thank you.
Help at all?
Yeah, I love that. You're such a good coach, Liz. I was like, I can just sit back and just soak all this in. She's so right. 85% of no's can be overcome, and they're completely just about fear. People are scared. People are nervous. It is like, it doesn't matter. I've been doing this 10 years and I still get nervous when I get people over. Like, it's just part of it. So your goal is to kind of talk them off a ledge and show them how easy and fun this is going to be. And then the hard nose, move on to the next person. No big deal. Run more numbers. Yeah. So that's the key takeaway is, like she said, a not response doesn't mean I hate you, you suck. It just means that they're in the middle of life. And then, like she said, the overcoming objections, about 85% are just, they can be overcome because it's just fear and you're starting the conversation with them. But then keep in mind too, it is absolutely a numbers game. And so you should expect to not hear from a lot of people. You should expect to have to talk to 10 to get one. And when the shows necessarily aren't coming in, mixing it up and talking to more people and getting out in front of people.
Here's my list from January for the 4 shows that I got from January. I don't know if you can see it. It's a big hot mess of like, I don't even know, 50 or 60 people in here. And there's like checks and scribbles and follow-up notes and when I texted them back. And I can tell you just glancing at it, about 60% never responded to all 3 of my messages. So I still got those 4 shows and they were awesome. So I'm going to focus on the ones who do respond and the ones who do book with me. They get my time and energy, not the ones who don't want my time.
Yeah. And usually what you'll see is the people who didn't respond to you, the next time you see them, they'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to get back to you. I'm like, oh my God, please, we are all like living crazy lives. No big deal. Like it is like a non-issue. And then people are like, then you took away the weirdness and they're like, whatever, like totally fine. The second thing, oh gosh, right when you were talking, Liz, something came to mind. It was.
Sorry, Kelly.
No. You were in the middle of your thought and I just came to my head. It was, oh gosh, what were you just saying right in the middle of that?
Sorry, about the 60 I reached out to in January to get the 4 shows.
Oh, I was going to tell her that, and I mentioned it on one of my other calls, that I am normally, I love to book and sponsor at shows. Like that is my major thing. It is what I love. I think it's so much easier than doing it with reach outs. I completely did not get a single potential from a group of 22 girls in an area that is completely undeveloped and they all live in a very affluent area where they could kill it. And they all shopped and they loved everything and people were throwing on Pegasus. And it wasn't that they didn't need the money. It was like, it was probably because they hadn't been around it in years because no one in Williamsburg's done it in a while. And they just were in the mood. They were there and drinking with their girlfriends. It was a Friday night. Whatever the reason was, I talked to every single one of them about it and I got all flat nose, but I am going to follow up with them when they get their jewelry, make sure they love it and throw it back out there again. But that doesn't mean the next show I go to, I'm not going to sponsor 3 and book a bunch. You know what I mean? So sometimes the numbers don't run for every situation, but if my next show, I might only have 10 people there and I might sponsor 2 or 3. So I'm going to make sure I do the things every single time that are going to help me book and sponsor. I'm going to talk to every single person I check out about doing a trunk show. I'm going to say, here's 2 dates I have, or let's get that getaway for you for free, or let's get your girls over, or you'll get a big shopping spree. I'm going to make sure I talk to every person about that. And I'm going to make sure at every trunk show that I talk about the opportunity in My Group Hello. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to strike up conversations with people and get to know them during the show so I can say, oh my gosh, you'd be so good at this, and then turn around and style somebody else. And then I'm going to talk to every single person about it at checkout. Every person on Friday, I said to them before I checked out, oh, before we check you out, did you want to take advantage of the stylist deal? And so if you run those numbers every time, and when you do your personal reach outs, if you run the numbers where you offer the opportunity and then defer to a trunk show, you will sponsor and you will book. It's just about running the numbers and talking about it enough.
And one thing that I started doing a while ago was to celebrate the no's, because they do add up and there's a lot of them. So to not let yourself get so distraught over constantly getting turned down, because it can hurt sometimes, even though it's hard. We say not to take it personally. Sometimes you do. So every time, this is what I did when I was teaching. Every 10 no's, I would get myself like a treat or something, like a Starbucks or like a pedicure or something to like celebrate the fact that I did those. Now it's more of a deprivation challenge for myself. So because I need to do this as my full-time job, I can't have a glass of wine at night or for the day until I get my 10 no's. So it's kind of like figure out what works for you. Like, do you like challenges and do you like celebrating? Like, do you want to give yourself like a shopping spree? Every 50 no's you can get a massage or whatever it is. Or do you need a deprivation? Like, okay, I'm not going to do X until I get this many no's. So that way when you get a no, like a hard no, after you've closed the loop with someone, then you can be like, yes, like that's another no, like 6 more and I get my wine.
So you're saying like when you get a no, like at least you got a response. Like somebody told you no versus not responding at all. Like that's what you're celebrating?
Yes.
Right. So yeah, the celebration is like when I can actually cross them off my list. Like, you're hard now. But turn that into whatever that looks like for you, though. You know what I mean? Like, I do a lot more reach outs because I have a lot bigger. I mean, I don't know what your goals are, but for me personally, my personal reach out goal is a lot higher than an average stylist might be. Just, I don't know. So I'm talking in circles right now. This is not relevant.
I know. You're just basically saying it's forcing you to follow up. It's forcing you to run the numbers.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Getting you back on track, Kelly.
Rewarding so it's just positive and negative reinforcement. You know what I mean? That's all it is really. And so positive reinforcement is treating yourself for like it's kind of it rewards you mentally. So it's like your brain actually will release something to reward you, to make you happy, like in the pleasure center. And it'll start associating those no's with pleasure. So it kind of does work. Like if you're like, okay, I can't have, chocolate chip cookies tonight until I do this, or you'll start to reward yourself for something that is maybe not so appealing. And you'll be much more likely to do it. Like I've got a really good book I want to read right now, but I'm not letting myself read it until I, reach out to, let's say, 20 people today. So it'll just force you to do it. Or like, I can't watch The Bachelor tonight unless I do X, Y, and Z.
That's mine today with our sponsoring challenge, Kelly. I need to watch the recording of The Bachelor, and I'm not going to do it until I do my sponsoring reach outs for the day. So you can tailor it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think it's a good reminder to ourselves too. If you're not getting a lot of no's, you're not working. Yeah. Like you're not actually working your business. And I know a lot of stylists will always they'll see somebody's numbers, like they'll see Sarah Field's sales. Oh my gosh, how does she do that? Like she must be something special. And it's, of course, it's not that she's not amazing, but the reason why is because she's getting a whole heck of a lot more no's than any of the rest of us. And I think if you can really embrace that, for me, it was the biggest game changer in my business, because instead of me thinking that other people had something that I didn't have, it was just that they were doing something that I wasn't doing. And if I would do what they would do, I would see similar results. And it's 100% true.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh, Rhonda, you're muted.
All right. Charlotte, it reminds me of Babe Ruth, who has, or whatever, one of the baseball players who has the most home runs. He's in the World Book of Records, but he's also probably in the World Book of Records for the most strikeouts.
Yeah, totally.
Same thing.
It's all about mindset. It's what are you focusing on? Are you looking at the actions that came out well and the things that you did well and actually came out with good results? Or are you focusing on the things that didn't go well? Like my list I showed you, I could very easily sit here and cry about the 56 people who did not book with me after I reached out to them. Or I could celebrate the 4 hostesses who did and that got massive shopping sprees and who are so excited about Stella and Dot, and then focus on the customers I met through those shows. So it's just literally what you're letting yourself focus on and think about. It's just how it's going to run your brain. You can totally change your outlook. I think from a negative shift to a positive, because I used to be very negative focused as the person, and this has helped me really see that positively, which has been helpful in all areas of life, not just with booking or with reach outs or just sponsoring, but with everything. Like my husband never. Okay, I'm crazy OCD. I take my shoes off when I go into a house just because I can see the dirt as someone walks across the floor with their shoes on. And I'm like, I need to Swift for that later. And okay. My husband, who I love dearly, who has known me forever, knows that about me, does not take his shoes off when he comes into the house. So I could sit here and be all pissy about every time he doesn't take his shoes off, or I could look at the positives, he got up early and took the dogs out this morning so I could sleep in a little bit. He did, he switched the laundry over yesterday, randomly, which surprised me. I have to look at the things that are positive, right? And let that kind of focus fill you up. Then you have the mental energy to go and tackle some of those scary negative things. Because if you come at those scary negative things with a bad attitude, you're going to be completely crushed even more. So there's just a thought for you.
Okay, I totally love all of that. And to piggyback off what Liz is saying, Liz Jackson, this business is all about momentum. So I remember last year Charlotte had joined the corporate Maven group, and she and Sam both had to hit. So imagine this Maven group with Danielle, and there was a hard limit. You were getting kicked out of the group if you didn't do X, Y, and Z. And so they both were panicked by the end of May because they started Maven going into the summer. Okay, sorry, kids are getting off the bus. Dogs are going to go crazy. They start now. Her dog's hearing us. She called me and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this. And the results aren't coming yet. And then all of a sudden, because she kept doing it, she kept applying the effort, even though the actual rewards weren't coming yet. She wasn't necessarily getting the yeses for sponsoring. She wasn't necessarily getting the yeses for booking, but she kept going. All of a sudden, she had this huge summer, which led into this gigantic fall because of the momentum she was putting in May. So the key is, and this is what your sponsor, Liz Lori Fetterman, I remember saying was her game changer, was when she came to our little director's retreat in Middleburg last year. And she was sitting around the circle, and she said the thing that changed everything for her was it wasn't anything magical that anyone had. It was that they were taking more actions and they didn't quit. And the didn't quit part really is what jumped out at her, that she said that's the only difference between them and I. It's like they keep taking actions and they don't quit when they hit a wall. Like they just keep going. And that's really such a huge part of it. Okay. Anyone else have any questions before we pop off? I have a feeling I'm going to have a flurry of people pouring in. Nicole or Noelle, do you have any questions for us?
I don't think I have any big questions right just now. I don't know if what people know about me or not, but I signed on, and then a week later after I signed on, I got eye shingles. So I was pretty much out for about 3 weeks, and it's only been in about the past week that I've started feeling better enough to be active and really try to start working on this business. I am keeping a log of my reach outs. I think I'm probably spending too much time on keeping track of things rather than just, I find myself like telling myself just stop and just do it. And I think I am still like very nervous, a little bit scared of like burning bridges or aggravating people who've had enough of multi-level marketing companies. Because I feel like it's all over Facebook right now, like whether it's a fitness something or jewelry something, I don't know. But I guess this is really helpful to me. Just hearing everybody say, just keep persevering, just keep doing it. But I do feel like it's just really slow right now. So your encouragement is probably the best thing for me right now.
So Noelle, have you had your launch yet?
So, and maybe Liz can kind of help out with this. Not really. So we kind of did an online launch while I was sick. I was on bed rest for pretty much 3 weeks. And there wasn't a whole lot of response I felt from that.
So that would be definitely my first piece of advice. Because one thing I tell new stylists all the time is it's hard to have somebody else do a show for you when you haven't done one for yourself. So that would be the fastest, easiest thing you can do is get your goals over. I would, throw out an e-bite, don't overthink it, plan it for next week. And I would just blast it out, make sure you invite enough people, invite 40 plus. And that's really your way of announcing the launch of your business. And you can even put a personal note in there. Be like, you know what? When I signed on 3 weeks ago, I got sick right away, but I am so excited now to share this line with you. I absolutely love everything in it, and I know you will too. I can't wait to get you over and see what you think. And then just blast it out to as many people as you can, as personal as you can. Liz can walk you through how to get good attendance at your show. But that's my biggest piece of advice. Because people will come then and see how easy and fun it is, and that you just wiped off your kitchen counter and you didn't overthink it. You didn't do a bunch of food. You just grabbed a couple bottles of wine. Super easy, breezy, and casual. But there's nothing that can replace that first time that everyone's picking it up and trying it on. And I want this and I want that. And oh my gosh. And the thing I'll tell you about your mindset that's so important is whatever you feel about it, people will feel about it. And if you feel like if you're offering something you love, it's a great product. And once you get people at your show, you'll see how much everybody loves it. And that fear will go away because you'll be like, okay, I've got something worth sharing. If you feel like you're offering something great, people will feel like they're getting something great. If you feel like you're bugging people, they'll feel like you're bugging them. So just know that every single one of us.
Self-fulfilling prophecies.
Totally.
It totally happened to me.
Yeah. Every single one of us had the exact same fears you did. And so it's all about coming from a place of service. We've got something that people love. Women love to shop. They love to feel pretty. They love to treat themselves. The line is really well priced and they feel great in it. So if you feel like you love it and you share that you love it, that enthusiasm is everything, then people will love it too. And they'll want to be around it and they'll want to be a part of it. The second people start feeling like bugged by something is if it's not something that they love, if it's not something that they want, if it's not a desirable product, if when someone's like hawking something that's crap, that's right. What you don't want. And so it really, if you have that mindset of coming from a place of service and like how you can help them feel pretty, how you can help them find something super comfortable that they can run around in every single day and feel put together, you know, how you can help them find the perfect gift, how you can help them, you know, it's all about you having something great to share and sharing it with them to make their life a little bit better. And when you feel that, and when you come from that place, that's what people will feel. So in your Evite or whatever you do for your launch, I would say, you guys, I am completely like head over heels in love with this line. I wanted every single thing in it. I can't wait to share it with you. You're going to love it too. Like that kind of confidence of like, I found something that I love and I'm like bursting at the seams to share it with you. People want to go to that show. They don't want to go to a show that says, just come check it out. No pressure. You don't have to buy anything. Just come over, have a glass of wine. Like that doesn't sound appealing at all. That sounds like you're walking into like a 20-hour presentation of going through the entire line together. It's just like nothing but swing by, have a glass of wine, check it out and treat yourself to something pretty, you know, something like that. Super easy and casual, but just know that what you feel and your enthusiasm is going to be super contagious. And the more excited you are about it, the more excited they're going to be about it.
That's good.
And then focus on those people who do come and do say yes and do show up and love everything, because they're going to. There's always going to be negative naysayers on Facebook. I literally turn off my Facebook all of the time. I don't have notifications on ever because it can suck you in. My own mother didn't shop with me for 2 years when I did this. So you're always going to have the option to focus on the negative and focus on the positive. So do exactly what Kelly said. She is fantastic. She's doing this for 10 years. She's been through every kind of no and every kind of objection and every hard month and negative response. And I'm so glad that she's still here, because I mean, we wouldn't have you if you weren't. But so anyway.
But yeah, I mean, just do your launch in the next like week or so. Like do it a real one, invite people over, get people excited about it, but run the numbers. You want to shoot for at least 40 plus. And Liz can show you how to, like, I'd say my biggest piece of advice for people coming to a launch is 40 plus on the original invite, but then personal reminders. So I'll have a show that I'll have like 3 RSVPs to it until the day before. And then I personally text out that cute little Mimi image to every single person that I really want to come. And I actually take the time to be like, hey, Amy, I'm so excited for my show tomorrow night. You're going to love everything. Hope you can swing by, you know, XOL.
Which image are you speaking about?
Have you been on Mimi yet? The little app? Okay, so if you've got a trunk show in the system, so as soon as you plug in the Sell and Dot system, you can hit My Business and then click on your trunk show. And then where it says something about guest, I can't remember what it says, something about like guest. There'll be all these cute little images that'll pop up with all your show information on it, and you can save it to your phone as an image. And text it out really easily. You can post it places, you can message it to people, and then with a little personal note attached being like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. You're going to love everything. Hope you can swing by. That goes farther than anything. People want to know that you want them there. And going out of the way, like I will literally have a show go from having 2 people coming to it to having 20 people coming to it, because I took a second to say, you know, I really hope you can make it. I think you're going to love this. It's all about them, not about you.
So I actually never knew that about the thing in Mimi, Kelly. So I just learned something new.
Oh, good. Yeah, Mimi, you guys, has got, and we're all just getting better at Mimi. It's a relatively new thing, and I'm still learning lots of ways to use it as well. If somebody could explain to me how to do videos on Instagram, I'm like, how do all these people have videos on Instagram? Every time I go to post a video on Instagram, it says videos no longer. And then I see like 10 other stylists have videos. I'm like, and everyone I reach out to is like, I don't know. And I'm like, how do people have videos on Instagram? We're all learning. So just go on there and play around with it. But I wish I had my phone in front of me. Oh, here it is.
Well, I pulled mine up. So sorry, I opened a trunk show. And then as you said, like at the top, it says guest. It's probably backwards. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it says guest, and then it populates all these images, and they already have all of the Like everything's already populated right in there. So like I was creating everything by hand. Like you can go in and find all the stock images and then edit them however you want. So I was going in and editing them and typing everything by hand. I didn't even realize there was an option in there where it was already populated with the.
And that's pretty new. It's like in the beginning, we actually had to go in there and edit it. And like, for example, Rhonda's new stylist, Linda, had she wanted to change her name. Her last name was different in the system, and it was kind of a pain. So we had to go in. Sometimes you'll have to manually edit if it's a charity show. But yes, this is so much easier. So especially for yours. And then so what you do after you get to the image, then you hit the little arrow button, and then you click share. And then so you have all these options to share on Facebook and Instagram, but if you hit more, save image comes up. And then it just saves it to a picture on your phone. So it's super easy to share like that. And you can share it directly through text or email or whatever the other options are. But I like to have a copy of it on my phone so that when I'm doing text reminders, I can just plow through it.
Kelly, do you not have the little arrow on the thing to download it automatically? You don't have to click more.
Hold on one second. My business, see, we always learn something new. Gallery. Oh, not gallery.
No, it could be. I don't have an iPhone, so I don't know. It could be an iPhone thing.
Well, let me see.
When you get to that page, there should be a little like download button, like a little picture of an arrow, like going in the downward direction.
Yeah, that's what I'm clicking. Oh, when you click on that, it goes directly to your phone?
Yeah. So like, go ahead and do the image, right, and then the download, and then you're at the page where you can select Facebook, Instagram, all those things.
Well, no, see, I'm not there yet. Like when
Okay, so yeah, so click that.
And hit the arrow.
Okay, then share.
Okay, share. Uh-huh.
All right, now on that screen, is there not another little picture of an arrow at the top or the bottom?
No, it says, well, it does say share image via messenger, text message, email, copy link, Instagram.
In the top right, is there a little gray arrow? No?
No, I don't have that either.
Right.
Okay.
Never mind. All right, that's an Android thing. I learned something new every day too.
So yeah, we don't have that on our phones. I guess iPhones, you just click more and then hit save image.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Anything else before we pop off? I'm excited for this new little week. We'll do this every week. So if you have got someone who wants to pop on with us, this would be great. And then you guys too, take advantage of this Monday night calls. I don't think Donna had anyone on her 8:30 call last night. And Donna is brilliant about networking.
I was there.
Oh, you ended up getting on? Good. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I caught the end. I caught like the second half of it, but yeah, I was there.
Okay, good. Donna's so good. And that's what the tips from the top calls every week at 8:30 are going to be kind of feature different leaders in whatever their specialty is. So Donna's, and Charlotte will tell you this, she has been able to connect with all the women or all of the organizations for Dress for Success. And she is so good about going into a business and being like, here's how I can help you. Let's combine forces. We can do so much for X, Y, or Z. And so watch her video on that last night. But that tips from the top call every week is kind of like this, where you can ask questions and hear great advice. But if you did that, if you kind of made that part of your schedule to hop on Monday nights for that alone would dramatically improve your skills and grow your business, because it's going to change from week to week, but they're very good.
And there's a lot of training videos in the lounge too. Like if you're looking for inspiration and training on certain things, go dig through the Training and More page, and don't be afraid to like watch something. Like you can't break it, so dig around, and there's so many really good videos that headquarters puts out for home office puts out for us that you can just go and watch and take notes on your own.
Totally.
Or search in Southern Charms. Like you can go to the search bar on the side and type in a topic that you're interested in and go find a video of someone else watching it. We've done videos for years on that page. So there's lots of great information out there.
And the other thing I'll tell you too is, like you said, Noelle, you're end up thinking a lot and doing a lot of like organizing and cataloging and making it cute. Like if you're like an organized girl, I mean, I love this little planner to me last week, and I love getting there and taking notes. I'm like, okay, a lot of these things I'm doing are not going to help me book trunk shows or sponsor a new stylist. So a good filter to always ask yourself is, what I'm doing right now helping me book a trunk show or sponsor a new stylist? And if I'm not doing it, then I probably don't need to be doing it. So all the training in the world is great, and it's a great way to learn and get better at what you're doing, but running the numbers and talking to enough people and sharing it enthusiastically is really the best thing you can do.
Does anyone have a good resource for like sample introductions during trunk shows?
Video in Mimi about the group Hello.
Yes, that's amazing. So if you go to Mimi, up at the top when you go to, I think it's gallery, And at the top, there's a video option. Go look for the Group Hello one. It'll tell you exactly how to walk through, especially with the new style that we're doing. And Liz is a pro in this too. Like how to build it from the top down.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. All the Mimi videos are awesome. There's definitely worth watching.
Okay.
Kelly, this is always going to be like this time and have it be like an open Q&A coaching time?
We can. Does this time good?
Yeah, I just didn't have a chance to like advertise it to anybody this week. So now that I can know that moving forward, hopefully.
Yeah, it seemed like this was a pretty good time for people to pop on if this works for y'all. You give me some feedback and we'll talk about it in the next couple of days and I'll come out with the schedule a little bit earlier. So I would love to know, and if anything else you guys think of, like the call at 12:30 came from Liz's wanting to, work with new stylists and launching them strong and all of that. So you guys shoot me ideas. I want to keep it fresh. I don't want to just talk about the same thing every week. So, but I do really like this option where you can bring along your next big up and comers and they can have access to all these different voices. Yeah. All right, Noelle, I want to hear all about your launch. Shoot us a message and let us know how it goes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.